How's it going, y'all? Today, we're going to be exploring Stormbound, a map that's on mod.io for Bonelab. So, I'm going to go ahead and give myself my typical weapons that I like to have when walking around these maps. Since we're going to be looking at a house, I thought I'd go with a gun that feels pretty appropriate for home defense. So I went with this trench shotgun. Only 6, yep. One in the chamber. Now, of course, the rule with these guns is you hope not to have to use them, but it's nice to have them. So let's start here in the front room. Now, I'm assuming, yeah, this is all just rigid geometry. Looks like New York City. And we saw the same panoramic model for a TV in the 7-Eleven map at the top of the Baba Corp building. I think that's what it was called. Another one of these, which of course has nothing on it. How to make video games. This seems to be a trend that I've seen so far, and that the developers of these maps put books that, well, they may or may not have used to learn how to do what they do. This is a really cozy little space in here, though. I like this. The lighting's a little simple, and it looks like they gotta change some bulbs. I also have a daytime version of this map downloaded. I don't know if there's going to be any difference, but if we have some time today, I'll take a look at it as well. I also want to see, you can go outside. What? Oh, well, this is just amazing. Oh, is that a doorbell? That's amazing. And I need to have a view of it from the outside. Across the street, look both ways. And there are other structures here. Of course, I don't believe that they'd be accessible. Look at that. I feel like that has to be our thumbnail right there. I don't know. That's just wonderful. And I also have my flashlight, which, oh, it looks much better on this map. On the 7-Eleven map, it looked horrible. This one actually has some shape and some design and texture to the light. This is nice. Okay, well, let's go back inside. Oh, let me in, please. I can see on the alarm clock here it's 3:14 in the morning, which is perfect. Personally, I'm more of a 1 a.m. guy. 3:14 for me is a little too close to wake-up time. For many years, I have actually woken up very early for work. If not 5 a.m., I was waking up at 4 a.m. And so 3:14 to me is like someone who gets up for work at 6:30, getting up at 6. I've always preferred 1 a.m. Man, I had more time in the night. Can I use these? No? It's also really nice to note that we can use the doors. The 7-Eleven map didn't allow us to do that. I like this. I like being able to use what's in front of me. Are we gonna follow suit with this one? Yes. And it's a bathroom. With a mirror. They don't have a shower rod though, but they have a towel, so they can dry off and dry down the rest of the room once they splash water all over the face. Oh, but it doesn't matter because they don't have a shower head. So it'll be bath time only. And that's a big toilet. Gotta get used to these doors in here. Into the dining room. A lovely little chest of drawers here. And same painting, as, or at least one similar to the one in the living room. Someone's an employee of Monogon. And some dice up there on the shelf, which means whoever lives here plays D&D. Which means they have good taste. Well, all depending on what class they play. Keep patio closed, please. It gets soggy. Well, I mean, if you put a Persian carpet right here, a Persian rug, that would make sense. Does that mean we can open this? Oh. Sorry. Just get that. No, I don't think we can open the back sliding door. But let's take a look in the kitchen a little bit more here. No. Oh, and you can... Oh, I just hit my door again. These are nice. This is really cool. There's like stuff in here. I don't want to scratch up their cast iron. That'd be a darn crying shame. Okay, well, as we work our way through the house, let's take a look in here, right here. See what's in here. Alright, this is a laundry room with, let's see, just a closet. Yeah, just a closet. And, ooh, an attic access. I'll have to see if that opens. I'm assuming this is going to be the garage. No. This is strange. It's like a... Well, I don't know. It's like a pass-through, like a morning kitchen. This is what we would call more like a morning bar in residential construction. Like a small... something you couldn't even consider a kitchenette. It barely even has a sink most of the time. It'll have like a coffee maker and a couple cabinets, but an entire 2-sink vanity. I mean, outfitted to look like it's meant to be in a kitchen. We'll have to look at that, because now we know that means we can be climbing around in the vents. So then this... Ooh. This is nice. Oh my goodness, I would sit out here and read forever. This is amazing. I assume this back door works. Oh, that's just awesome. And some kind of storage over there. This doesn't look like it opens. Which it doesn't. There's the back patio. Oh, but this covered sunroom, I mean, if this were a Wendy's, we'd call it a solarium. But this is just so nice. Well then, I will excuse the awkward placement of a kitchenette here. That's just nice. So before we look at that, and before we look and see if this attic access is actually functional, we'll go look at the rest of the first floor. So let's take a look in here, which I think might just be a pantry. Oh. Oh, there's a whole lot more to this. Okay. Well, let's look at the rest of this floor, and then we'll go down there, and then we'll go up. I have to say, I just love this hallway. I think I've become a sucker for, like, late 80s, early 90s wallpaper, stuff that we would have seen. You know, if you grew up in the 90s or 2000s, you grew up in houses that still had a lot of that kind of decor, especially if your house was built, you know, and hadn't been renovated for at least 20 years. This is what you saw, and I love it. I used to hate it when I was little because it felt old, but now I really kind of miss it. Oh, man. Now this is a master bedroom. I must say, though, if I were on the bed, I don't know that I want my bedroom door at a blind corner. Nor would I want to enter into my bedroom at a blind corner. Ooh, can you hide in there? Oh, you can. Oh, and these vents. Oh, but I can't get down low. But I can do that. Can you? No, you can't. But you can see through. Well, you can't crouch though for some reason. But you can see through to the hallway through these vents, which isn't great for privacy. Because sometimes folks want privacy so they can play video games. But I love this. I mean, I don't know that I'd want... I mean, I live in the master bedroom of my house, and it looks out onto a street, but it's elevated, and there's actually a balcony that I don't even ever really use. And I'm only just now realizing how much of a crime that probably is. I've always wanted a balcony, and now that I have one, I barely use it. But for the sake of privacy, I just don't know that I'd want to... I don't know that I'd want... I mean, I feel the same way about hotel rooms. I don't want the room that I sleep in to be able to be looked on from a ground level, especially a street. I just don't know that I'd like that. But it seems all the bedrooms are kind of that way. Oh, this is cool. Now I don't know which bedroom's better. Although, I don't know. I think I might like my bed being right below a window, but maybe that's just... I don't know. Well, we have Indiana Jones. This, which I unfortunately cannot tell you what it's from. And this, which just looks beautiful. I don't know if it's from something, but it's nice. But this is cool. This tells me this has to be... Depending on what the basement holds, because they have a finished basement, which means that there are finished rooms down there that can be lived in. That tells me, just from the ground floor alone, that this has to be a family of 3 people, 2 parents, and possibly an only child. Which, man, I tell you, I grew up in a family with 4 siblings. There were 5 of us in total, and I just could not imagine not having all those siblings. Really made life a whole lot more interesting when there was more going on and more personalities than just what's in your head. So we'll come down here and we'll start on the left. And this seems to be an owner's closet of some kind. Main storage, another access, which we'll have to move everything. Maybe we'll move it into the hall. Your trusty dusty sledgehammer there for when you have to get into your brother's room because he took your DSi. Oh, I thought that was like a wall of black right there. Oh, this is so cool. You see, I don't live in an area where we can have basements because flood level is like right at my doorstep. I live right on a body of water. I mean, almost right on a body of water. And so being able to have a basement was just not something that was possible for us. But man, this is cool. Of course, one of my favorite movies right there. And let alone a basement. I mean, this is a cave. This is awesome. Oh, what I would have done to have something like this when I was little. Having a basement, even just a drab, moist, dank one, would have been enough for me just to have something underneath the house. It almost would add like a level of mystery that you weren't getting on the other floors of the house. But I suppose that I got what I wanted when we moved into the house that I live in now. And we ended up having a number of almost supernatural occurrences come to pass, so much so that we had to have the house blessed. I'll open this door, which reveals another storage closet, this time with a wrench. And going into this one... Oh, come on. There we go. Another bedroom. So, and another vent. So then this must be... I would almost say that this means that this is like... What would you call this? I mean, this is a finished basement with an additional master bedroom. So it's possible this could be an in-law suite. Or, well, this is in the basement, which means you don't want them... These are the people you don't mind sticking around for a while. And I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't want my in-laws floating around too long. I mean, of course, depending on what kind of folks they are, but, you know, I think it's safe to say no one wants the in-laws around for too long. So this could be the child that got a nice job and has to work in the city, but doesn't want to have to pay rent, and apparently he was a good enough child to where his parents didn't want him out, and they were willing to set a place up for him. Well, this is just nice. This is really cool. And the same books that we saw from the 7-Eleven. This is really, really nice. Well, now that we're down here, why don't we just go ahead and start with the vents that are in here? Because where else can they go but up? So I need to keep this door open. Well, actually, okay. The other vent was in here. That's right. And there was one on the opposite side of the hall. So, let's go in. And so this one will go into the other part of the basement. Oh, right. Okay. So this is on the side. Right. This is on that side of the hallway. So this is that closet because the sledgehammer's right there. And so going through here. Oh, this is a long hall. Oh, this is too long. I don't know if y'all can hear that too. There's that buzz. I don't like how you can hear my footsteps when I turn my head. That rolling thunder. This is when I need my flashlight. Oh, but it's not going to work in here. This is weird. It sometimes doesn't work on certain geometry. Yeah, that's like useless. Okay. And then we'll be able to stand up. What in the world? Well, then I'm getting tangled in my cable here. I've had my... I charge my Quest 3 every night, which probably is not a good idea, because then I've practically destroyed the battery in this thing now, and if I want to play in it for longer than an hour, I have to have it plugged in. Oh, come on. There we go. No! Okay. So, which means that we're back on the ground floor. Okay. So let's see if I can guess where this one goes out to. This has to go out... I don't remember where the other one was. I haven't seen this room yet. Oh, and the rain is so strong. So telling by the vaulted ceiling and the weird lighting, I'd say that we're in the attic. This is a nice room. Heck, I'd sleep up here. and we'll go check that out in a sec, but the main doors come first. Well, goodness, this almost doesn't feel accessible if you... I can't imagine trying to get that couch up here through this little door. This entire door is up here with finished lighting and everything, and the only access you have is some obscure attic access hidden away in the laundry room. Which, let's just check. I mean, I know that's what it is, but can I get it open? No. Well, can I shoot it open? No. Well, then, let's go back to this vent and see where this goes. And this descends back into the house. Right. Where we thought it would. So that really doesn't open. It's kind of strange. Okay. Well, now that we're back in the main house, I think it's safe to say that we've explored every part of this. So why don't we go walk around outside for a little while and see if there's anything out there that we've missed. So we'll just check on the house grounds here first. So that looks down into the basement. And that's the master, the second master. And coming around the other side of the house here, we don't have any access. We don't even have a garage. So I was wrong about that. We've just got this gravel driveway, or no, just really weird asphalt. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the street here. Maybe there are some secrets. Maybe not. Which, that's a fake window, so I don't assume this will work. Which it doesn't. Another structure right behind it. Oh, there's a number of these. Oh my goodness. And this, I'm sure, is a world border. No, it's not. I can keep going. And I have to say, I'm quite confused by this, because I also play Pavlov's Shack, and I plan to explore some maps in that. And in Pavlov's Shack, you have special game modes that are made just for hanging out with your friends, but in Bonelab, as far as I know, there's no multiplayer. Which means that these maps were just made to run around and shoot NPCs in. Which I think is honestly kind of cool that there's even content made for something like this, which isn't quite as multiplayer versatile as, like I previously mentioned, Pavlov's Shack is. So it's nice to see that there's still something for everyone. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's pretty much copy-paste for the rest of this street. I'm still going to want to take a look on the daytime map. I've decided I do want to do that, see if there's anything at all that we're missing. But I love how that street looks. I can tell the skybox is pretty low. Or actually, maybe it's not. It doesn't seem to move around too much. I think the only thing that would make this map better would just be maybe one more house with a finished interior, and I don't know, maybe a secret surprise that acts as a reward for the player for continuing to explore. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that I didn't get the chance to pull out my firearms. But it's nice every once in a while just to have something to kind of vibe to. See, this one doesn't even have a door. Realize I kind of have to hold the flashlight sideways to flash on certain geometry. But man, with this big open space, you could just do just about anything. Let's now, you and me, take a look at Atmospheric House Day. Now this map has been so incredibly popular on the Boneworks modding community, that being the Bonelab equivalent for PC, which is really the first version. Bonelab is more like Boneworks Lite. And this map, I've seen video of this map on Boneworks, and it's a whole lot better. The lighting is a lot better. The geometry is smoother. But of course, because of the limitations of the Quest 3, Bonelab, this is about as good as it gets. But it's still beautiful, and I wanted to start in the daytime version because that would give us the opportunity to really finish best for last. And the house still has a very delicate mood to it, even during the day, because all the lights are off. Well, save for these sconces on the wall. Well, why don't we go ahead and just start? Well, when we did our last house, we started by going through the front room. This time I want to go through the side. Laundry powder, which this seems like the right kind of place to put a laundry machine, but it's just a chest of drawers. French doors that open into a room that requires more French doors, which almost makes us feel like this was an addition on the house. And light switch doesn't work. Oh, wow. This is going to be a bigger map than I thought it'd be. A second living area. Which, if I remember right, having learned something about this map long ago, all of these books are real books. And I want to see if there's anything in here I know. I'm not a super avid reader. Eyes Wide Open. I'm familiar with that one. Can I grab these? No. But I have heard that, and if it's not these books, it's the books that are on the original map. And it looks like we're just kind of in this big boxed-in plane. Oh my goodness. Is that physics? No. Time to die. Interesting. Take a look at this room, which is a very big bathroom. This is like a master bath, and I'm surprised that it's not on a master bedroom. Oh, I'm falling out of my boundary. I don't know that this curtain would be wide enough. This is a massive tub. There are some very tall people living here. And all the sweet creams and lotions. You can open this. Smash Grandma's fine china. Well, now I gotta. Oh, no. You're gonna rob me of that experience? Dang. Oh, goodness me. Alright, well then let's continue down the hall. Her eyes are a little too dark. I'll just open that for the sake of it. Oh. Well, we found the man of the house. And their little dog, too. Well, so we know the staircase is here, which it almost feels strange to have a staircase be in a back corner of the house. You don't see that often. What's that? Medicine? Another basement. Well, then we'll take a look at that after we finish here. Oh, I love this. You see, this is lighting that I absolutely just adore. Sharp LED lighting in a space where it doesn't feel like it belongs. Like this, and it's, to me, it's already strange enough that they have sliding plexiglass or, oh, and they slide. Sliding plexiglass or plastic doors for like a supposed laundry area. But I love the light. It just casts a beautiful, even in this low poly lighting, it casts a beautiful shadow. I want to see if actually there's any way to make this look better in the settings. Unfortunately, there's not, but it's still beautiful. I'll continue. Admittedly, a weird place to put another bookshelf, but it looks like they read a lot. It's almost as if every time they want to reread a book, they just buy a new copy. And they only read the same 15 books. And this goes into the main sitting room. And this, oh, I wonder who this is for. If for the owners, or for me and +1. And this looks like a little area where you store wines and liqueurs and such. A little coffee bar, so to say, minus the other necessities. I like this dog. It's a happy dog. Nice big kitchen, but I must say, this island is very far away. And it's strange to see an island that only has cabinets, and it's quite small. Giant, massive oven, though. Dang. Could fit like two pizzas side by side. And a big old range. Can't grab that, though. They need to do some dishes. Can't go outside, at least not from here. Well, let us go down and then we shall go up. Oh, let's bring it out. Ah, just hit my door again. VR problems. So this doesn't go any further. That's kind of unfortunate. What I talked about, I brought this up in the last map, that I would have killed to have a basement even like this, because it just looks so cool. But I said that in the area that I live, we're just not permitted to have a basement due to the climate conditions, and just geographically, it would fill up with water before we'd even get 2 shovels in. Which was strange for me. I noted in the last part that I was living in Europe for some time, and I was living in a very mountainous region, right in the Alps, and there you could have a house with 3 levels below ground level. Which for me, of course, was just absolutely crazy. I just realized I don't have anything. Where did my stuff go? Maybe... Oh, I didn't have stuff. That was in the last map. Which means... I think that means that we're on the search for the maker gun. That tool gun, so we can spawn stuff. That is, if this even has it in the map. I want to run to the front room real quick and just take a look and see if I didn't miss it. Which doesn't seem I did. Also, I didn't check this front door. Which... It looks like I can... Oh, that's the light switch for outside. Oh! I could theoretically go out the window. Oh my goodness, that's bright. What in the world? Huh. Strange parts of the map. 2 staircases. That's right, there was one over here. Now, some people may look at 2 staircases and think, oh, that's strange. But 2 things... 1, 2... If this part of the house was an addition, that would make sense that they added a second staircase. Because they wouldn't want to have to gain access to the far side of the house through one staircase. Also, with a house this big, if that side of the house is not addition from here over, then that just tells me that they just wanted to be able to have access nonetheless. The house that I'm living in now has 2 staircases because there was an addition done and they never joined up the hallways. So then day 1 of us moving in, we tore down that wall and made it one continuous hallway all the way. Now, it's a shame that this is so dark. Now, I know that it's darker for me than it is for y'all. And so, I know y'all will see this a whole lot better than I will. But this is nice. Goodness, this is nice. Big room. Enough clothing for working in the office. I tell you though, I don't know that if I could survive an office job. I had one for a couple months with my family construction company, and goodness me, I was itching to get out and back in the field. Painkillers, pain away. Someone is not feeling great. This bed frame style I've always loved. I always thought it was really cool. My bedroom probably has a bed this size, and it's one of those electronic ones that goes up and down, because it's my mom's old bed, and she had problems with her back, and so she needed a bed that could recline. And eventually, she moved to a different room in the house where she was more comfortable, and I got to keep the bed in that room. Oh, I thought there was going to be something standing at the end of the hallway there. I feel like this window should be a little bit bigger for this hallway. There's not enough light in here. Well, this is cozy. Again, with the cool lighting in places that it might not make too much sense. I mean, this makes sense to me. I love this. Although this corner right here, that's kind of strange. I'd almost just say, if you can afford it, do a standalone tub, knock out this wall, unless this is load-bearing, which it almost looks like it is. And is this another window you can move? You can, which means we might have to climb out onto the ceiling. Roof, I mean, not the ceiling. This is nice, though. I like this. You can open that, but you can't open the front door? Can you do this one, too? Of course you can. I'm just surprised you can't open the front door. Well, another thing I'm noticing is all the bathrooms, there's not a single bathroom attached to a bedroom, which is very strange. So this is the other side. Just stark contrast from that orange lighting we were getting. So this is the laundry room. doesn't move. Oh, there's another door on this side. Well, I tell you, this house was... I don't know who this house was designed by. Okay, now I'm assuming these are the children's rooms, which I'd be right, but I tell you, if I was a child in this house, that painting would freak me out. I'd either have to take it down or turn it around. It's floating off the wall, too. This is all nice. Yep, let me out. Okay, we'll take a look in this back room. Man, the run and the walking is so fast in this game. And I can tell whose room this belongs to. The queen of the house. I used to have a childhood friend who had a room just like this. Except her walls were pinker. It looks like when they were repainting the trim on the door, someone didn't know how to cut in. Goodness. It's like I'm bum rushing these doors when I go out. We'll come back here. Well, let's see if we can get out of these windows. I know I'm going to need to be smaller for that. So let's see if that's possible. Which it was. I'm just very surprised you can't even open the front door. Yeah, this is one big locked-in room. We'll go out back here, though. These big porches and decks. In case you haven't been able to tell, I'm from the South, from the American South, so porches and decks are like our thing. That's a lot of traditional homes here have these massive porches and decks that the decks will wrap around the back of the house, and you'll have these huge wraparound porches, oftentimes accompanied by a balcony immediately above it. This is a big house, y'all. When I look at it from this view, just because of the windows, it almost doesn't feel like this is supposed to be the front of the house. And in my opinion, there should be more shutters, but, you know, I didn't build the place. So here we are now in Atmospheric House Night, which gives it a totally different mood. And of course, I noticed that there is a lot of stuff missing, which would definitely allow it to deserve the name Atmospheric. Now it doesn't even feel like anyone lives here. But we noticed that even with the sun down, someone hasn't eaten their meal. Much of their belongings are gone. No paintings on the wall. Just the food that was left. Almost as if sustenance was an afterthought in a race in trying to get rid of any evidence of individuality. Oh man, and they turned off the light in this laundry nook. I was kind of hoping to be able to see what that looked like at night. I'm sure the basement isn't Oh, yeah, I don't even have a flashlight. I can't even see that. If that isn't a haunting image, I don't know what is. Yeah, and without the ability to spawn anything, I can't get my flashlight. Of course, the color test screen there. In the bathroom. Still looks... Oh, well, this is still on. This is nice. Well, let's go check upstairs real quick. Ugh, bum rushing everything still. And outside. Bedroom still looking wonderful, which, might I say, this would be an amazing space to do some VR in. Just with how wide open it is. Well, I'd say that this room has more light at nighttime than it does during the day. It says it's 3:30, presumably at night. Oh, and the laundry room just looks so cool. This reminds me of playing the game Stray for the first time, which also had this kind of mix-matched lighting between cools and warms. I tell you, that game, I would love to be able to explore that in VR. That would be really cool. I don't know if there's really anything else to see here. I mean, it's the same map, but at nighttime. I was kind of hoping to... I don't know. Oh, I didn't need to check these rooms again. Oh, and these rooms are completely empty. As well as the closets. And her room is empty too. It's funny because this almost feels like, I would almost say, the reverse of moving out, which would be moving in, which almost tells me this isn't them having left, this is them first arriving. Because typically when you move into a new house, you don't move all of your stuff in first. You get there, you bring your bare essentials, and you have a meal. I remember the first meal that we had when we moved into the house I lived in before the one I do now, which would have been about 15, 17 years ago, was McDonald's. And for me, McDonald's was very much a luxury because we got to go often enough, but my little brother and I, and we're very close, not only in our personalities and our appreciation for each other, but our age. We did everything together, and so McDonald's for us was a core memory of being able to run around in the playrooms and do whatever we wanted, just to come and snack on some delicious luxury chicken nuggets. And so when my mom came back to the house that we were moving into with these two massive bags of McDonald's, it was like a dream come true, especially in a house that felt much bigger than the one that we lived in previously. And that new house had a tree house, which I had always wanted. And it's ironic that the thing that I always wanted was what harmed me, because Not long after we moved into that house, I ended up falling out of that tree house and breaking my arm. Thank you so much, y'all, for watching this video, and if y'all would like to play any of these 3 maps that I walked through today, I'll put links to them down in the description. If y'all want to support me, I have a link to my link tree down in the description, which will take you to all of my social medias and different accounts where you can support me and help me out. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. It tells me that I'm doing something right. But until the next video, y'all take care.